guy. It goes you, me, and then Jared as far as like technology goes. I was asking him about what building a laptop or like laptop stuff for like editing, and he was like, he sent me this list of parts. I'm like, I don't know what any of these parts are, but he said like you need these to build like what you want. And I was like, I'm not gonna question it, because I don't know. That's why I contacted him, because I was like, I want this, and I was like, I don't know what I'm looking for, and he was like, you look at Mac computers, and they're like $1,000, and I'm like, that's a lot of money for a
Yeah,
laptop.
I still have my Dell. Yeah, but the thing is, like, for some reason, I don't know why, it's like the one device in our entire house that won't connect to our Wi-Fi. I need to try it again. It might be something with the computer. Um, Basically just keeps most of my files on it and kind of like budget lists, but I don't really do it for anything internet-wise. Anything that I'm going through the internet is literally just through the Surface right now.
Yeah.
This one won't hook up, so it's a bitch.
Well, that's a pain, because we could have used that for the Google Hangout if it would have hooked up, even though it would
Yeah.
have been kind of a,
Well,
I
I
don't know,
wasn't using my Surface a lot until we moved down here, and this wouldn't work. I don't know why.
yeah.
I kept trying so many things. It would say that it was hooked up, but it wouldn't. And we knew it was the computer because every other device hooks up.
Yeah.
But
That's
oh
what
well.
technology does. Is this will stop working one day and you don't know why. But since I already started the recording, we'll have this whole little technology conversation to start out the video. But our formal
Yeah.
introduction, assuming that the audio and all this fun shenanigans work,
Assuming.
um, we can have introductions for ourselves. And so I won't bother introducing myself, since it will go on my channel, and most people that watch my stuff have seen my stuff, so I don't need to spend a minute talking about myself. But they may not know about you, because you were there when I first started the channel. We made some
Oh yeah.
videos way back in the day, but you're probably a lot skinnier back then. But they probably don't know too much about you, because I don't know how many people. Well, back then I had probably 20 subscribers, so I have 100 new people watch. I'm pretty much YouTube famous right now. With
YouTube
my
famous right now.
140. I don't want to
Back
shortchange
then,
myself.
honestly, back then I probably weighed around the same. It's just that I was more fluffy. Now I'm kind of like more trimmed the right way. Um, I'm Jake, Jake Rogers. Just so you know, a friend to Jimmy's, fellow lifter, bodybuilder to be. Um, I say a lot. I live in Florida. It's beautiful. So if you get snow right now, then I am sorry. I know it sucks, but
Uh,
it's 78 degrees down here, so I'm getting my coat. Other than that, no big introductions. I love working out.
well, tell
I
us
love
your best lifts, the bench, squat, and deadlift. What are your best of
bench,
those?
squat, deadlift. My recent maxes for squat probably around 415. Um, Bench around 300. Deadlift is terrible. Deadlift I can maybe pull. I can pull 405, but it's not beautiful. So a clean deadlift, because I'm going to say I don't want to like have like a rounded back with it. A clean deadlift, I'll say 385 to be nice and conservative with it, because deadlift is really
You're
not my
going third
strong
attempt in a
spot.
competition. You're getting 405 with the cat back and everything.
Oh, if I'm going to a competition, I'll pull 405. I don't get shit. Competition.
I will say
Um,
a little bit off topic, but with the competition, deadlifts are actually probably, people always say like you're always exhausted, but that's when I got the most hype. So that might be the easiest lift I had, because I was nervous for squats because of depth. Bench, like with the pause, but a deadlift, all you do is pick it up, and I was super hyped with that, with the meet that I did.
yeah.
So
I guess for me, because I've theorized with people about when people talk about the difference between like grunting and screaming in the gym, and people say, well, grunting is unnecessary. You can be completely silent. It's theorized that grunting triggers your like your sympathetic nervous system, like fight or flight.
yeah,
And what it is, especially for things like squat or deadlift, not deadlift, but like squat or bench, where you have this weight on you, and that grunt almost triggers that fight or flight. Okay, I need to move this weight off of me so that I can live. So it almost trickles a small burst of adrenaline into your body that helps you get that extra like oomph you need at the very end. Sometimes that grunt actually is a bad thing. When people are screaming, honestly, it doesn't make sense. You're screaming,
yeah,
that
it's
kind
very
of
counterintuitive. Especially
yeah. When you're screaming, you're trying to keep like a nice structure. When you scream, you just let that whole structure out.
exactly.
So yeah,
And we have
screaming.
We had those
No.
guys when we were there at the university where they have a big bottle of ammonia, not the little tablets like you see with people who are actually serious about using that stuff, but like a cleaning bottle of ammonia, and they would do box squats and scream on the way down. You remember those
Yeah.
guys? They would not
Oh,
they would
yeah.
grunt on the way
Like
up,
the
but
big
they
dude
would
with the beard.
scream on the descent of their box squats. They would do a lot of weight, but they're doing box squats, so it wasn't like, oh my gosh, dude doing 500 pounds, those box squat, but scream like bloody murder, and it was
Yeah.
so
Because
stupid.
like with squat, when you're doing heavy squats, it sucks all the way. But to me, like the most challenging part is that bottom part when you get to the part where you're not going down any further and then you come back up. So when you have a box squat, don't count all of that weight in it because now you can basically go, you can stop and then almost like jump back up.
Yeah.
Versus a regular squat without a bench or anything, you have to go and you have to be able to feel exactly where you can stop and then come back up.
And you're holding the weight the whole time. You don't have that box to sit on. And that's kind of why I like Anderson squats more. Is because even though you're at the bottom pause, if you actually want to be able to push the weight back up, you have to be able to hold your tension the whole time. Because I feel like
Yeah.
I get lazy with box squats. I sit, and then I like sit for a second and then bounce back up. And I don't like them as much. I don't really do them.
The problem with the box squats too is a lot of people do them and they sit down hard, and the problem with that is it puts all that pressure into your lower lumbar region. A true box squat, in my opinion, should be where you're going down and you're just tapping it, just where you have an idea in your mind of what depth you need to hit. If I do a box squat, I'm not sitting down. I'm just going down to where I can feel the bench. Okay, now I know I'm at the right depth. Then go back up.
Yeah, and that's,
But again, what do I know? I'm not a fucking expert.
yeah,
So,
you don't know,
if
you don't
the
know
word
anything. You're just
if I can't say fuck
bodybuilder.
on here, then sorry. Just bleep that out.
I don't bleep out swearing. I can live with it. I just don't do it. It's one of those things where it doesn't. I swear a lot. I mean, you've been around me. I swear a whole lot.
Oh my god,
Um,
yeah.
I say horrible things. But when
But
I'm
you're
on
a
my
teacher.
YouTube stuff, it's very very minimal. It might be damn or hell. Or if it's in context of what I'm talking about, if it's like a quote of someone, I'll say it. It's not like I'm afraid of the words, obviously, but if it's one of those things, because I'm in education, it's always one of those fears. If someone stumbles upon my YouTube page, I don't want to have me saying fuck this, fuck that, every single in just a normal context of my video, like good fucking morning, with like every single video with that, and then
I wonder who you're
because it's less
impersonating.
about even the administrators or other teachers or other adults. It's like if a kid stumbled on, they're like, oh my god, Mr.
Yeah.
Winsman is swearing all the time.
Someone's always gonna get upset ever. So
Yeah.
I understand. For the case of this video, so anybody who ends up watching this video, I don't care at all about what I say, but it's his video. I understand he's an education a person who teaches
seriously,
children.
Like you can say whatever you want, because I can defend other people. You know, they're gonna look at me at what I'm saying. You could say all of what Mr. Krabs said, 13 swear words, sailor words. You can say them all. It's not gonna, it's not gonna bother me in the slightest. But I do find, with some people sometimes, that they'll say swear words every other word in a sentence, and it's just like, you need to chill out. Like, sometimes it fits into what you're saying, but sometimes it's just like, they're trying to seem like a hard ass, and they're really not.
Yeah, see, the people who try and be a hard ass and they're
Yeah.
swearing versus me, if I swear, or anybody that sees when I swear, it's just normal. That's just how
Yeah.
it really comes out. I don't do it to be a hard ass because honestly, I'm probably not really a hard ass.
Yeah, it's just how it flows out. I even had the one when I did the was it 420 or 430 squat. I was like stuck on the way up, and I was like, fucking shit, and I was like said it so loud. I left.
When
that
did
on
you get a
YouTube.
430 squat?
You what?
When did you get a 430 squat?
It was way when I did the mock meet. It might not even
okay.
been. See, I'll say 430, but I've had people say that it was like maybe that's like IPF, like official powerlifting stuff, but for like it was close. Like as far as programming goes, I still use that 430 number, but I would say like the conservative, like for sure max that I've done is 420, like that I've actually went to full for sure, like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I'm with deadlift. I pulled 405, but not clean enough where I'm going to use that for calculating my programming.
Yeah.
I'll still program it around 395.
Yeah.
Like recently, my coach just changed my rep ranges to kind of do a few things. So this entire week is all rep ranges like 6 to 10, Next week it'll be 12 to 15, and then on the third week it'll be like everything supersetted. Then it'll revolve again. So what I'm doing this week, like today, I did back and I did deadlifts, and never thought I'd tire myself out that far doing a deadlift. I did 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps of 315. No belt either. And they weren't like stop and goes. They were more like tap and go. So I wasn't like picking the weight up and stop putting it down, taking a second. It was tapping it, but I wasn't trying to like slam the weight. I still was trying to make it more of a clean deadlift.
Yeah.
No, with squat, and squat's just where I feel comfortable. I mean, to me, I guess that's the reason why, like I was talking about, that with squat or bench, you have almost that grunt that kind of triggers, get this weight off me. Yeah. With a deadlift, if you don't have someone there to hype you, then in my opinion, it can be hard, because whether you drop the weight or not, it's not going to really kill you.
Yeah, you don't have
if you drop 300. If you drop 300 pounds on your chest, yeah, that's going to hurt. But if you drop the deadlift bar, then it's just going to hit the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is much easier to lift more weight when someone's there to kind of hype you up. Like when I did my best on squats or bench, honestly, anytime I've done any PR in a way, it's when other people are there. Like,
yeah.
I don't remember if you were involved with it. I don't think so, but at Mountain Union, I think our junior year, there was like this weird little powerlifting mock meet. It was kind of for one new organization.
I didn't go to it, but you told me about it.
Yeah, all my best lifts, at least for the first time, were done at that meet. Like, that was the first time I ever did 225. This was a long time ago, where 225 was still a thing for me.
Yeah.
Deadlift, I got 225, like 25 straight reps, easy. And the deadlift, I know I sound like I'm bragging, but like I've never been able to do that lift again. I did 315 for 21 reps. My God, I can't get half that now. But again, I was so hyped up because it was, you got all these people around you, even people that I didn't like know, who were like, yeah, like it's like, fucking put that weight down, and I'm like, hey, let's do some more.
I had that same feeling at my powerlifting meet though. With squats a little bit, with bench a little bit, but I was so hyped for deadlifts because you have to wait like an hour in between these damn lifts, and you're just like itching just to like, because you have the weights that you want to do in mind, you're just like, I just gotta go, like I just gotta do these, and I want to get them done. And I'd had a Coke and a coffee, and like Cali Muscle, his hypey mud. As I mixed those together for a little bit of it, and I was like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever, but I forced myself to drink it just to get that sugar and caffeine. And I went through those lifts. That was the first time I used Mount Union bars, and they were like smooth. Like even the darker bars that are nicer, they're still kind of smooth. But when you use like a nice like Ohio power or deadlift bar or something, like your knurling is really thick. And when I went into that first lift, I remember that first deadlift, it was 535 or whatever the equivalent in kilograms was, because it's always a little bit off from there. But I remember gripping it and going like, oh, no chance, like for sure, I'm going to destroy this weight. And I just ripped it up, and it was my grip, that was what I was most nervous about, because I used to hook grip. I was like, I've never, like it was going to be like a new PR with whatever weight I was going to use for the next lift. So I was like, I don't know if this is going to work or not. But I ripped it off, and I was so hyped for deadlifts because I'm confident with deadlifts because I'm good at them. Yeah,
your best lift is your deadlift.
Yeah, and I did that. It was like 535. Maybe that was the last warm up I had. But then I had the 2. Because I remember the 590. I remember that a lot. And then even that 611. I still wish I would have. Looking back at it, because my back rounded a bunch, I'm sure, and I got stuck above my knees, I wish I would have forced myself to kind of shake it up and like grind it out, so I could say I did, over 600.
It was 611, so you probably, on that day, you probably would have been able to get 6, but the fact that it was about 11 pounds over, it might have been just too much with it, because I've done lifts that like were only like a few pounds more, and surprisingly just couldn't do them. Like the only reason I went for that 300 on bench was because my max that I was going up to was supposed to be 290.
Yeah.
And it was my max week where I had to attempt a 95% of my 1 rep max, and then attempt my 1 rep max, which I had calculated to be around 290. The owner of the gym that I work out at, He's a really cool guy. He thought that I had 295 on, and joke saying, there's no such thing as 295.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the hell, and just threw some more weight on, topped it at 300. And surprisingly, like, it felt good too, because I had several people around. The weight actually moved pretty easy. It went down, tapped my chest. I didn't do like a full powerlifting pause. I forget exactly how long the pause needs to be.
Yeah. That really
But
varies,
went down.
but, yeah.
What?
The pause really varies depending on where you go. It could be really short. Like, I remember in my meet, the pauses, I was prepared for them to be really long, but they were really, as soon as you touched, as long as you were controlled, I think they make you wait longer if you, like, just drop it onto your chest. Like, those kind of people that want to bounce it off. But I controlled it down, and then it was for, like, just a brief second. And it almost threw me off how quick they were, like, up. And I was like, oh, I'm just ready to go with it. But
Yeah.
you
But that 315, I don't know if I could have done it if it was just me. Also because I was using a spotter. But it was crazy though because I think later that same week, another guy, like an older powerlifting guy, because there's a lot of older powerlifters that go to my gym, came in. He did 315 for like reps, just like repped it out, like about 8 reps. And I jokingly said, "Hey man, I just hit 300 for the first time, 1 rep max, and you're over here warming up." And he was like laughed and kind of like tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you'll get there, man."
Oh, you definitely will. It's just a matter of time because you're built well for bench with that, and as long as you're progressing forward, you'll eventually get there with that. But the last thing I'll say with the deadlifts at the meet, they were actually pretty strict with actually probably the deadlifts they're honestly really strict. As soon as you started to grind above your legs, they were giving everyone like red lights with it. So I took 611. That weight in particular, because it would have been like a state record or there was some record with it, as far as that particular weight. And I was like, I'm going to take this for a ride, and if I get stuck, and I did, I'm not going to mess around with it and kill myself. And I wish I would have went and tried to kill myself with it. Even though I would have got the red lights, I could have said that, I still did the weight kind of, but, shoulda, woulda, coulda. And that would have been nice to do at 181, or 100, at that date, I was 180 pounds in the morning, but I'll never come around to that again. That was way too skinny. Have you ever been to,
I know everyone's got those regrets. I know Ronnie Coleman, he'd said that his biggest regret looking back is he knew that he could have squatted 800 for 3 reps.
That is for sure. Have you ever been to it's called Bodybuilders Gym in Akron?
No, I know that's where Lowry worked out.
Yeah,
at.
that's. I went there with my brother-in-law over Thanksgiving. I was hoping to see Lowry there, but it's super. You'd like it there. It's a really, really old school, but they still have right at deadlifts. If you look on my Instagram, the last deadlift video I had, they had like illegal plates, like the super Swedish whatever, the like higher quality plates. They're older, so they weren't nice, but they were still like really nice plates for.
Still weighed something. So.
Yeah, I was expecting just all metal plates everywhere, but they had like illegal plates back there and a nice deadlifting platform. So it was a really neat place. If you're ever in the Akron area at the same time I am, we'll have to go there one day and get a lifting because it was like $6 for a day pass, and it was
I know,
super old school.
I like gyms like that a little bit more. That's why I think I'm really attracted to the gym that I work out now because it's nothing fancy. It's got all the equipment that you need to build a great body, kind of like the old days. Like a lot of the weights, they're not coated anymore to look really nice. And there are weights that there's dust on stuff. There's sweat. There's probably blood in a few places. It's the perfect place to get MRSA. But it's 24/7 access and it's the atmosphere. I tell people like you can have a gym that has all the perfect equipment and still have shitty workouts.
Yeah.
You got to have the right atmosphere because if you're going into a gym that has all the right equipment, but everyone in there besides you isn't looking to be a bodybuilder or a powerlifter, and they're going to give you looks or tell you, hey, could you be quieter with the weight, it's going to keep you a little more reserved. Versus when I joined up at this gym, some guy gave me like a small tour to show me around. I said, you guys have any rules? Like, he's like, no, not really. We slam weights, scream, curse. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Which that's a perfect place to be at.
Yeah, and like 2-minute drive away, so pretty easy.
You can't beat that.
one thing I did want to mention real quick. I know we talked about before that coming into 2017, sometime in 2017, I do want to do my first show, like
Yeah.
just like amateur kind of like natural bodybuilding show. My coach was looking at possibly doing something in the fall. One of the guys that works out at the gym I do, he's probably younger than me. He's probably like about, I would guess like 16, 17, 18, around there.
Yeah.
There's a show that he did last year that's at the end of May. And he said there's not a lot of people there. It's not like a really huge show, but he did that show, and then later that year he did another show that was bigger. He said this one is a lot less political. It's kind of easier for a first show because no matter what anybody says in bodybuilding or in sports in general, there's going to be politics. I mean, especially a sport that's very subjective versus powerlifting is, I mean, in a way pretty objective. I mean, lift the weight or you don't. But yeah, so I'm still contemplating a little bit if I want to still wait until fall or if I have enough time maybe to get ready for the one in May. It really just depends. So I'm going to go over a few things, and if I feel that it might work, I'll talk to my coach about it, but if not, it kind of really just depends. I don't feel that I'm at a heavy enough weight that I'll be satisfied with when I cut down. Because right now I'm probably around like 191, 192, and
Me too.
even if I don't have to lose, even if I don't have a lot, what?
Twinsies. I'm about the same exact weight.
But if I have to cut down from that, I'm gonna be going down for like 175, 180 at least, and I really don't know if I want to cut down that far. My goal, I think, was to get up to around 200, maybe 202, and then cut down to maybe around like 185. So that way I can still stay in the 180 range.
Yeah.
Because at that point, like, I don't want to cut down so much, and now I have so much more I have to gain back up again. Especially for me, that's someone I don't gain a shit ton of weight and then try and lose a shit ton of weight. This time when I'm gaining weight, I'm trying to do it slower, like only a couple pounds a month, but try and do it so that I'm putting on mostly muscle and not putting on fat. So when I have to diet down, it's not going to be as insane.
Yeah.
I don't have to lose like 20, 30 pounds to get ready. It'll only be maybe like 15, 20 pounds max, including water.
Which, yeah, that'll be interesting. So you have to keep me updated on the May. I didn't know about that you're planning on doing, or looking to do one in May potentially. I knew about the bigger one that you're looking at.
Potentially, and this one, like, recently, I just found out, like, I just talked to him today.
Yeah.
But again, it's also because since I'm not originally from Florida, I don't know all the different shows in the area. And there are some shows that you can find on, like NPC, and there are shows that are much more local that you kind of just really need to know that they're going on.
Yeah.
Like, there could be a show that the NPC is an NPC show, but it's not a big show whatsoever, so they're not really going to advertise it on their site. But
Like that little one in May, probably not. If there's not a lot of people and not a big deal, they're not going to spend a bunch of money advertising it.
no, but I've heard that it's a good show to figure out. Since it's not as political, it's one to kind of figure out more if you like doing it, because they will judge more on your body versus, like how many Instagram followers you have.
Yeah, I'd rather than I wouldn't want them to judge me on that right now, but
Yeah, right now I got like 78 Instagram followers, so
your Instagram famous, bro.
I'm waiting there. I'm waiting to get to 100.
You gotta do something crazy for 100.
It's crazy when I have people who end up following me who aren't fitness people, or like they're literally just friends.
Yeah.
Like, who I know, they have 6 posts and they have like 500 followers. I'm like, what in the actual fuck?
I think a lot of those people, what they do is they have friends, but they start their Instagrams, because I've seen this with like just random people I went to Mount Uni with or in high school. They start their Instagrams really early, and they start it with like their name, and they just follow everyone that they know. So they follow 500 people, they know 500. It's like with the Facebook thing. I used to have over 1,000 friends on Facebook before I deleted a bunch of people because I didn't like 90% of the people I followed on there, and it was too stupid to have 1,000 friends on there. But people do that same thing with Instagram. They'll just follow everyone they went to high school with because they want to get that whatever feeling they get when they have people follow them back. For me, I don't even use hashtags anymore. I just post whatever on Instagram. Because I figure people are either going to find it or they're not. I can put hashtags, it might help, but that's just going to get me more likes, and I don't care about that. But I feel like I'm going to get more from the YouTube. If people wanted to see the Instagram stuff, they can go there because it's more
Yeah,
of the
I mean,
day-to-day stuff.
I'll hashtag stuff because I do eventually want to gain people, but I guess I want to gain true followers. I don't want to like just follow a shit ton of people like my
Yeah.
friends and have them follow me because I want people to follow me who want to follow me as a fitness channel, not just
Yeah.
because it's my channel and say, hey, we used to work together. Why don't you follow me? Yeah, again, a follower is a great follower, but I want a follower that's following my channel for the reason that I started the channel.
Exactly. And
Um,
yeah, that's a big thing. And it's hard to
basically,
do that with Instagram because it has, you can see how many people you follow. You follow 20 people, you have 700 followers. You look like that, you're like, oh, it's just some person that doesn't follow anyone back. But that's why I kind of like YouTube with that because you can, it doesn't show how many people you subscribe to. So I can subscribe to 1,000 people, they wouldn't know. But at the same time, you don't, other people don't see that. If I would subscribe to your channel and it would pop up, it wouldn't say like, oh, Jim Life subscribes to 1,000 channels, and you just randomly clicked on. It just says, "Oh, you got a new subscriber," and this is, if they have that sharing up, they have that will pop
basically,
up and it'll say like, "Jim Life followed you," and he has 140 subscribers, and it's like, "Oh, that's neat, I got a new subscriber." I love getting
yeah.
those emails with that.
I think it's always crazy on Instagram, even Facebook, that it always tells you when you got a new friend, but you never know when someone just decides to leave.
Yeah,
Like I'm always wondering too. Like when it comes to like Instagram, and if no one had ever unfollowed me, I'd have well over 100 followers by now. But every time I get on, it's like, hey, like you got 78 followers and 2 hours to follow. Okay, now it's 80. The next day I'll go in, it's at 79, and I can understand. Like I don't think my channel's it's nothing great, but it's nothing bad in my opinion.
yeah,
But who's taking the time to just go through and be like, I don't want to follow this person anymore.
yeah. Because you
Just
don't
going
post
through
a
the
whole
list.
bunch. I could see
And I'm
the only
like,
people
man.
I've ever go through and like unfollow on Instagram or really anywhere is when they post a whole bunch. There's some people that have like not posted in like a year that I just don't even know. Like I don't go through all my people I follow and like they haven't posted in a while. I'm gonna unfollow them or they haven't they don't post for it's people that like the one guy I just unfollowed on Instagram posts like 30 straight pictures. And I'm scrolling down my feed and they're just all of his stuff and I'm just like I don't wanna see this. But
Oh
it's like
yeah.
people who over do whatever they're doing with that
I
stuff.
don't know.
But you mentioned on at least the list that I have here, the psychology of the squat. I know we talked about that a little bit, but what did you mean um, by the psychology of the squat? Was that with more of the groundwork
Well,
stuff?
to me, I think of the squat a lot like anybody who knows who Tom Platz is. Tom Platz was
Yeah,
an amazing bodybuilder back in the 80s, and he was known for having really well developed legs, quads, hamstrings, and calves. And he always saw the squat rack as kind of, in a way, as like the altar. This is where you're going to confess your sins and you're going to repent and hope that you come out alive on the other side. And I think of it too. When I started working out, you already know this, that I knew there was this funny thing like, hey, don't skip leg day. So I was like, okay, so I purposely went really hard on leg day. And I think that's why my leg development and strength has kind of gotten to where it is now. And again, it's still far from perfect. And there's still years and years ahead of development that's going to be done. But where I am now, I feel pretty happy with where my legs, at least knee up, are in comparison with my upper body. Even my calves are coming up now, not super fast, but they are a lot better than they were 6 months ago. So hopefully in 6 months, they're even better than they are now. But I think that the squats I think leg day can be the hardest.
yeah,
It's the biggest one where you need to like really dig deep inside yourself and find out what you want to do. Because with the bench, if you don't do the bench very well, that's fine. There's plenty of other things you can do for the chest. If you don't do deadlift super well, there's plenty of things you can do for the back. The squat is such a fundamental leg development exercise that it's also those ones, in my opinion, that it's really going to set you aside from people who are doing it for recreation and those who are doing it for something more. Because I can do it. There are plenty of times I've done a squat and been in pain, it's like, man, I should just stop because it hurts. But I know that that's going to put me in that group that can't go past it.
Yeah.
And that's why if anyone looks on my Instagram page, or even when I train people, I actually have business cards that say NEF Fitness. It stands for No Excuse Fitness, because I believe that there is no excuse. Yes, there are modifications to be made. Everyone's going to have something different. But, I mean, you could be missing a limb. You could be healthy as I can be. You could have cancer. You could be going through a crazy divorce, whatever it is. There's always something going on. Everyone's always going to have an excuse. Because, to me, if someone has an excuse, but they want to work out, they say, hey, I want to get in shape, but they give me those excuses, it tells me one thing: they're not ready for change. Because when someone wants me to train them, I have it written out. I have 5 questions that I ask before I kind of get into more details. And one of them is, are you ready to make a change? And say no, then I don't ask any more questions. Because that's my 4th question. My 5th question is, what do you expect from me? But if they're not ready to make a change, there's no point in seeing if they need anything from me, because they're not ready anyway, whether it's me or someone else.
Yeah.
So there's always some way to push past it. I think the worst pain I ever was in the gym that I had to push past, I didn't even think you knew this, is in college at one point I actually found out I had hemorrhoids.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I told nobody. Actually, even Weston, like my girlfriend, who's not my fiance at the time, didn't know for quite a long time. I hid it from everybody because I thought it was a very embarrassing thing. That was the worst pain I ever went through. Is I actually went through an entire leg workout with an excruciating hemorrhoid pain for the entire day. And anyone who's ever had hemorrhoids, it basically feels like 2 extreme rug burns constantly rubbing together in your ass.
Yeah, that's gotta be miserable trying to live through that.
So actually, that was the worst pain I ever went through in a workout that wasn't because of muscles, and it was also the only reason that I ever went to the gym. And actually, there was one day, it was so bad I went to the gym, about 10 minutes in I actually left. That was the only time I went to the gym and left and didn't finish the workout because of that. And then I went home and basically just laid on the floor forever. But no, the psychology with that is your muscles can go on a certain point, but it's what's going to be inside of you, what's driving you wanting to work out, that is going to push you further. Because I tell people, when you have goals, okay, I want to lose weight, I want to look better. Why do you have these goals? Because if you don't have a why, the first day you wake up and you're tired and you don't feel like going to the gym, you're not going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Because you have no reason. Say, I want to lose weight. Why? I don't know. Well, cool. The moment that you don't want to eat salad and you want to eat a piece of pizza, what's going to be stopping you?
Exactly.
So there is a lot of psychology in working out. Some people will understand it more than others. It really just depends on how long you've really been in it and what type of heartaches or accomplishments you've gone through.
Yeah.
I know you know it as well, and you're one of the people that will usually accept some of my inspirational quotes and not laugh at them too much.
Yeah. I think one of the things is too, when I'm thinking about of what gets me to do my lifts, is like heavy lifting is usually motivating in itself. But some of the days, like, you don't feel like putting 300 some pounds on your back and squatting it for multiple reps. Like it just doesn't sound like a good idea. Or bench, your shoulders a little off, or different things like that. But usually I can push myself to do those because I'm like, well, that's going to get me stronger. The hardest time I have in the gym is for the stupidest things, like curls and tricep extensions, shoulder lateral raises, all the things that I don't like doing, because you do the bodybuilding stuff. So that stuff is like more easily to motivate yourself because you're working on specific parts of your muscles. But for me, it's more of active recovery and stabilization of my joint, and more of just joint health and muscle health with that. And it's so hard for me to like deadlift and squat and bench, and then turn around and be like, yeah, I need to do some of these 20-pound curls for 10 or 15, 20 reps, or some of these lateral raises. And I'm just like, but I always think at that point, it's like, if I'm not willing to do like a freaking lateral raise, or if I'm not willing to do a curl in order to, I'm going to blow up something when I'm doing a deadlift or a squat or something. I'm going to explode, and not in the good, not in any sort of good way. I'm like my knee or something's going to just explode in a bad way. But I'm also just not dedicated enough. And for me, it's not even so much because some people like progress as far as muscles go. That for me, that's a side effect. I'm not worried about, as long as I look healthy, then I'm fine. After that, healthy body weight, healthy, I have a six pack, all that fun stuff. I don't care after that. That's as far as my bodybuilding goes. But for me, it's if I'm not progressing, then I'm not working hard. If I'm not progressing, then I feel like I'm not accomplishing something in the gym. And for people that go and do like the CrossFit stuff and they're not really like for me, I have to have something where I'm just objectively progressing, and that's where I'm motivated. It's like I all the stuff that I do is inherently meaningless. Like I could squat 1,000 pounds, but once I'm 80, I'm gonna be useless and not be able to squat whatever I could, and eventually I'm gonna die and someone's going to squat more whatever I did. Even if I was one of those crazy Ray Williams that squatted 1,000 pounds, someone's going to squat more than what he did 100 years from now, but when you're long gone. It's all about making it meaningful to what you're doing and making it emotionally impactful for you. Because for me, if I'm not having fun, I may not talk to a lot of people when I'm in the gym or do a lot of stuff now, but like, I legitimately enjoy lifting heavy weights and having a goal and working towards it. And I think a lot of people, they view lifting weights and powerlifting, a lot of that is just like you're just killing yourself just so you can get that strength number. It's just progress. I wouldn't care if like right now I was squatting 135 pounds or if I was squatting 500 pounds. If I'm able to progress, then I'm happy. It's that point where it's just like, yeah, you're just going in just to be healthy,
Yeah.
just for
I
fun.
One of the
And
great things
yeah,
too, because I was never big on sports. I played like several different sports through like grade school, but nothing ever clicked where I was long standing with. I think with working out, the great part about it, whether you're doing bodybuilding or powerlifting, even if you're not competing, is that you don't have to compete against anybody else.
yeah, oh yeah,
You can set a goal for yourself, and it's pretty attainable. You can hit it. If you can say, okay, I'm going to add 5 pounds to my bench this month, then okay, you're only competing with yourself, but you know that if you don't hit it, then there's no one you can blame except yourself.
yeah,
So when you're walking up to a weight or to the squat rack and you're not going to do it, you have to go and ask the question, can I not do it or do I not want to do it? Because trust me, there's plenty of times, as much as I love working out, there's plenty of times I've walked in the gym and not wanted to do something. And yeah, it might not have been the best workout, but I still put a lot into it. I don't go in and say, okay, well, I'll just squat 135 because that's pretty doable. But I know that for me, even on a bad day, whatever it is, that's not going to really do anything.
yeah,
That's basically going to keep my muscles active,
yeah.
but it's not going to get what I want. So
Although,
you have to figure out
yeah,
what it is that you want and then figure out, okay, this is what I want, here's where I'm at. Now I need to understand what needs to be in the middle to get me there.
yeah. On those days, I always think when I come in, I'm like, I don't want to do what squat or bench or whatever. I think later tonight when I'm sitting and eating dinner, I'm gonna be really pissed at myself if I didn't do this, or like next week when I haven't went to the next part of whatever workouts I'm doing, I'm not able to progress. I'm gonna be really upset with myself that I couldn't just sit there and hunker through for one day, because everyone's gonna have those bad days. I think that's the biggest thing people don't realize with working out is that you're gonna have days where you feel great. You're gonna have all your friends there. It's gonna be a highly motivated day. All the weights are gonna be moving great. Nothing's gonna be hurting. But you're gonna have days where you're aching. It's early in the morning because that's the only time you can work out. There's gonna be no one there that you know, and you're gonna just be cold because it's Ohio and it's the middle of winter, and you're gonna just hate
What's that?
life. But you're like, you know what? If I'm gonna get from where I am to up here, I have to be able to push through these crappy days, because every day is not going to be a good day, and that's a
Yeah,
metaphor for life too.
especially because I preach a lot about like the having no excuses, and and again, this is not like to brag with anybody, and no one should ever really do this, but kind of a sense of pride is that, like days like Thanksgiving
Yeah,
or holidays or the weekend, Sometimes when I'm going in the gym, my motivation is thinking, okay, who else is not going to the gym because it's this day or it's that day or this is going on. So I guess in a way as a role model too, that like for example, last Saturday, that's last weekend, my office where I work at, they'd rented out kind of like a big, just like day cruise thing, like a triple decker cruise, kind of just go around the bay. And it was really nice, with a bunch of people there, and it left at 12 o'clock. Well, I got up in the morning, probably around like 7:30. It was my cheat day, so I went to IHOP and ate, came back, went and worked out for an hour, hour and a half, came back, showered, got ready, and we went. And I guess in a way too, I was thinking, okay, one, now the rest of the day is open, but two, what excuses am I going to hear why someone else couldn't have worked out? I know, okay, well, I know that I got this going on this morning. Like you and I, we used to work out at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes because that was the only time we could work out, or because we knew that it was going to be super busy in the evening. And then you hear other people have different excuses, and I've seen people way busier than I am in way worse situations emotionally or financially or spiritually, way worse situations with way more going on that still don't make excuses. So one, I know that I definitely shouldn't make any because the way I'd seen it was there's 24 hours in a day. You sleep around 6 to 8 hours. There's an hour in there for you to do some sort of workout. 30 minutes even. Something is better than nothing. And again, I'm not saying like just go on a 5-minute walk twice a week, but yeah, think about that. I know there's always going to be someone who's in a worse spot than you are, who is not making excuses. So I think the worst thing that I've heard from people, and when they know it when they say it, is when they give me an excuse, but I know and they know that they have time. They're actually stumbling on trying to think of a way to justify it.
Just to find out. Yeah, I've heard that a lot too. Is I don't have time. Like
it's kind of. I heard someone describe to me. It's almost the way as when someone says that if you don't vote, then you don't have the right to complain. And to me, in a way, I agree, disagree. To me, I have the right to not vote. Yeah. But it's kind of the way that if you want to look a certain way or you want to feel a certain way and you have the time to invest in it, but you're not, and you don't have any room to complain. Don't tell me, yeah, I really want to look like this, I really want to lose this weight, but I'm so tired at the end of the day, it's so much work. Don't complain about it, because you've basically let me know that you can do it, you can achieve it, you're just not willing to make a change, which is why it's a big question to always ask somebody. Because if you're not ready to make a change, then there's really no point in me wasting time trying to help you to change. Yeah, someone has to figure that out on their own before they accept someone else's help with it. Otherwise, they're just wasting their time.
And it's about making a sacrifice. And for a lot of people, it's not. They're not going to be. They don't want to be bodybuilders. They don't want to be powerlifters. They just want to lift to be healthy, or they want to work out to be healthy. And that's 99% of people. The minority of people want to do bodybuilding or powerlifting or anything specific like that. A lot of people just want to kind of look good, want to be healthy, want to feel good. And for those people, when I hear that they don't have time, and that's most people I talk to is the general population of people that just kind of want to be healthy. Like every single person, you have time, and it's like, do you make time to brush your teeth? Do you make time to take a shower? Do you make time to eat food? Do you make time to wipe your ass? You make time for all these things, but you don't have time to work out? It's a matter of life or death. And
it's because you don't make it. You don't make the time for it. I mean, people who are avid lifters, like myself, like you, like a lot of our friends, like many fellow bodybuilders and powerlifters out there, you don't work out when they have time. They prioritize it. They make time for it. Just like you make time for lunch, like you said, you make time to eat breakfast, to brush your teeth, you make time to work out. So that way, the free time you have shouldn't be the time that you're like, okay, I can work out this time. No, you've already worked out. You've already taken care of what you need to for your health and for your body. So now you still have free time, but now it really is free time that you can relax. Don't have 3 hours of free time and say, maybe I can work out in there. No, have, say, an hour and a half, 2 hours of free time, but prioritize to schedule
Exactly.
in that, say, like hour of working out.
Yeah, and that's huge too. And also with just eating unhealthy, I guess, not just I can't think of the proper term for it, but like when you go to a birthday party and have cake and cookies and different things like that, and I've seen people like, I don't know if I should have another piece, or I don't know if I should eat more, or if I should have a piece of cake, or if you work out, you know you're going, like when I go to a party, I eat lots of cake, I eat whatever I want, because I know later that day or the next day, I'm going to go work my ass off to work on myself, and by doing that, I'm gonna burn off whatever I just ate. But if you live a healthy lifestyle, if you know that you're consistently going to work out, then that piece of cake, that cookie, that little bit of extra ice cream, that great value Oreo that I ate today, that kind of stuff isn't going to like, oh my gosh, I'm going to suddenly be fat. It's just like, yeah, you're a human being. You want to eat food that tastes really good. That's pleasure. And I don't want to limit myself on that. There's times to limit yourself on that, and that just comes with self-control. That comes from like, should I have like 3 pieces of cake or should I have one? But it's like, I want to be able to eat something,
Yeah,
and it's
there are several phrases that
yeah,
I've heard that really fit in with what you're talking about. Because I said before that I like, um, one bad day isn't going to break you, just like one
yeah,
good day isn't going to make you. I'll have killer workouts where I go in and I'm like, man, this day was important. But in the grand scale, it's just one small piece of the puzzle. I think I forget who it was. I talked with someone or read with somewhere one way they described this in kind of more of a visual way of like your whole goals. Imagine your goals trying to be healthy lifestyle and consistent is a swimming pool. It's like a normal average size in-ground swimming pool. And every time you do something that goes against that is like taking and putting a drop of food coloring in there. You're
yeah,
not really going to see it amongst the billions of water droplets in there. That one droplet that's a little bit darker and a little muddier is not going to really affect everything.
yeah,
But if you were to put 10 drops in every single day, eventually you might start to see a little bit of a difference in the grand scheme of
yeah.
things. It's about being consistent. Putting in a drop like every other day or so isn't going to be a big thing because at that point your body can filter it out. You're working things so you're counteracting it. But if you're putting in like 10, 12 drops every single day and you're doing nothing to filter that, eventually the pool is going to start getting dirty.
Yeah, and I think I see a lot of people too, and that was a bigger point that I was trying to get to, and I forgot about it. But when you have like a piece of cake, people try to make themselves feel guilty about it. But if you're thinking of that kind of what you described with like the drops, if you're going to have like, I shouldn't eat this piece of cake, or I shouldn't eat this, and then they'll eat it anyway. You go to a party, everyone's gonna eat cake, but you're gonna have the couple of fat people that are like, I really shouldn't do this, but they'll treat themselves like crap throughout it. When I know that I'm gonna eat a piece of cake, or if I'm gonna eat the Great Value Oreos like I did today, or Thanksgiving when I have cherry pie, like I'm committing to just enjoying the crap out of that pie, enjoying the crap out of whatever I'm eating, because I know the next day, and I think that's where a lot of people get confused mentally, is that they'll have a piece of cake today, but they know they're gonna have like an oatmeal cream pie. They know they're gonna have a ho ho tomorrow. They
Hey,
have the
I have a
crap in
great
their
fiance.
house.
She made a homemade sweet potato pie with a pecan glazed topping to it, and I ate that shit up. Um,
But you're not
but
gonna eat
yeah,
it tomorrow. That's the big thing. Is like people think like, oh, I can't have this piece of cake. Well, if are you gonna eat cake tomorrow? Like, well, no. Then you're good today. If you're gonna eat a birthday cake every day, then yeah, you're gonna. It's just like you said. It's about having the one water or color food droplet in the pool versus 10 every single day. If you're gonna put one in a week, then you're gonna be fine probably.
yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize too, like at least in my opinion, from my personal experience, and you know me, I meal prep all my food the entire day. Not everyone has to do that. It's
Yeah,
just how I do it. It's how I prefer to do it. But when I eat something that's unhealthy, because I have one cheat day out of the entire week, I have a day where I just eat whatever. Um, I don't regret anything I eat in that cheat day. It doesn't make me feel bad because I know that consistently I have everything programmed out that's going to put me on the best track. So that cheat day isn't really going to affect me the way that someone else would. Versus someone who is not really working out consistently and also isn't eating very consistently in the right way, but every single time they have something that's bad for them, they just feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And I think when you actually want to eat healthy, it makes it easier and psychologically less stressful when you eventually sometimes have a treat like that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just going to beat yourself up over something that's going to adversely affect you while you're also not doing anything to change it.
Exactly.
You're just going to sit there and psychologically hurt yourself, which is why I feel that a lot of sometimes people who are overweight or out of shape, they have bigger problems with worrying about how they look or how they feel, because every time they have something bad, they know it's bad, but they're beating themselves up over it.
Exactly, and it ends up being more, like, obviously they have physical issues, but it also turns into a mental thing, and that's a lot of things with people dieting and changing lifestyles. It's that it's a mental change in their lives, because physically your body's going to do what your body's going to do. You can go in and work out every day, your body's going to change, it's going to do whatever. But it's mentally, like we talked about before, that mindset going in with knowing that you have to do whatever, but also with that routine, knowing that you're going to work out X amount of times during the week, you're going to do whatever you're going to plan on doing, and having that mental part. It's most of life is mental, and I don't know if I told anyone this, but like the hardest part of teaching is just showing up. Is just mentally waking up in the morning going, I'm going to show up to school and I'm going to do everything that I need to do, and there's things I don't want to do, there's people I want to talk to, there's kids that are going to be assholes, there's going to be all of this stuff you have to deal with, but I'm going to show up every day unless I was sick the one, like legitimately sick the one day, and that was the only day of school I missed, and that's something I think a lot of people don't do in just their general lives. Is like something gets hard, then they're like, I'm sick and I'll stay home for the day and I won't approach it. But for me, it's just like you just have to show up, because it's like with the gym. If I'm there and I drive physically to the gym, I have all my stuff, and I don't feel like, I'm still gonna do something. Like I'm not gonna go and be like, like that Mount Union is a little bit easier because you could walk back to your dorm if you really felt like crap. But like now I drive 20 minutes to my gym, like I'm gonna do something. Even if I'm like throwing up into the bathroom, I'm gonna like do a curl or something before I can just.
Yeah, I'm still gonna make it count. I made the trip there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. A lot of that stuff, people just beat themselves up mentally a lot more than what they should be, and it's most of working out is mental, I would say, but they spend a lot more time in their head and think like all of that. They think about themselves physically a lot more than what they should be.
I think it's too because people, for some reasons, people need to prepare. The people who aren't used to working out, you need to prepare for what's going to happen. You're going to feel different. You're going to feel sore. Yeah, food might not taste sugary and salty all the time, but you have to think of what's more important to you. Is it important for you to be healthy? Again, not be like walking off a magazine model or like rip six-pack, but what is it to you that you want to feel or look like or be like? And that's why I would say the biggest question that you always need to ask somebody, or even ask yourself if you're wanting to do a diet or workout regimen, is, are you ready to make a change? Because it's a change. You can't like, even people who train, you can't just come to the gym and work out for an hour and then the rest of the day is just how it was. You have to be able to, like, people say, oh, it's 80% diet, 20% gym, or 60 this, 40 that. No, it's 100% diet and 100% working out. You can't, in your mind, you can't set it to where you're just going to fall short on one, saying, okay, well, I can do the diet pretty decently. I give about like 60% effort, and I'll give a good effort in the gym. No, because then you're going to get 60% of the results that you want. If you're only putting that much into it, even when I used to work at a gym, and I used to ask people these same questions, I asked them when they said, how much of this are you willing to give up? Meaning like bad food habits. And they say, well, say like 60%. I said, why 60? And I said, I just feel, and I said, I just want to clarify. I want to make sure that 60% doesn't equal 60% of your effort. Because that's what you're going to get. You're going to get half-assed results. You'll get results, they might not be the best they could have been. But I mean, I agree. I mean, psychology and the gym, I mean, very well go hand in hand. I do have to be mentally prepared for what's happening and what's going to happen in the gym, outside the gym.
Yeah.
Because there'll be people, I mean, even you and I have both probably met people outside the gym who don't exactly understand why you're so dedicated or why you are so into this. Or, like, at Thanksgiving a couple days ago, there were some people who were talking about bodybuilding. They thought it was gross and steroids and how it's so crappy and different drugs. And everyone's got their own opinions. Thankfully, I'm pretty reserved. I don't like starting big arguments, so I kept pretty quiet. But there's some people that just won't understand. There's some people that won't understand why you meal prep or why you work out so hard or why you don't just walk on the treadmill 30 minutes a day instead.
And I had a person that mentioned that at the beginning of the before really the school year, or it might have been it was really early in the school year. But she asked like, "Oh, are you one of those people that works out for like 3 or 4 hours?" I'm like, "Yeah, like sorry, like yeah, like that's
It's like, are
something I'm
you one of
passionate."
those people?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, like I don't. Well, A, I don't want to be unhealthy. B, I don't want to be fat. But also, I want to be able to get stronger. I could go to the gym for an hour. If I just wanted to be healthy, I could go for an hour, a couple days a week, and be fine, eat healthy and do all that stuff. But I not only want to be healthy and not be really fat, but I want to go in and get stronger, and I want to get consistently stronger. So that means I have to sleep, I have to eat, I have to go in and do all the stuff I need. I have to do all these things. So it's like, yeah, like I'll go in for 2 or 3 hours. But I also don't have kids. You have a cat now. My sister has 5 cats and a dog.
Two gets.
2 cats. I don't have these responsibilities, so yeah, I can go in. I don't, I can leave my apartment empty. I don't have a girlfriend or cats and all that
Yeah,
stuff
exactly.
sitting here. But at the same time, even if I did have a girlfriend and cats and a kid, I would still, go in the morning, go, whenever I could.
Yeah, like when I
I
started
have.
dating my fiance and girlfriend at the time, I tried to make it really apparent in the beginning that this is something that is prioritized. And yes, I want to spend time with you. Yes, I want to do things, but this needs to be in there as well. It's not something that just gets pushed at the end. I do this, scheduled in, prioritized. That way, all my free time, then it can be with you. Then I can do something different or whatever. But it's important, I think. I think someone who lives a lifestyle like this, no matter how it is, it really kind of shows who are going to be the true people around you. People who understand, or even people who don't fully understand, will accept it. It's like a lot of different groups out there. People who are avid lifters, people who are into this or into that, and that is very different. And say, okay, it's not for me, but it's for somebody. And that's the way that I like to see it. That yes, bodybuilding is not for everybody,
Yeah.
nowhere near for everybody. But don't look at it in a certain way. Just say, okay, it's not for me. It's not really my thing, but it is for somebody out there. And on that, I think I'm going to kind of bring this video to a close. Just because it's getting late. I have a fiance who's probably asleep, that is probably upset that she fell asleep without me in there. So
With that, but I think that'll be a good note to end this video. So hopefully all the sound and everything worked on that. But hopefully this could be something, I don't know if we'll be able to do this once a week or once a month or something like that, but I think this would be an interesting thing to do. And if we were to do this on Google Hangouts, which we would eventually be able to do once you get the technology and figured out all that shenanigans,
yeah,
we can add other people to it, so it wouldn't just be you and me talking every single time. We could have other people in and have like a group talk. So if like now you have to go to bed, like if you left, then there could be other people that would stay and talk. So there's more
yeah, and I
flexibility
think in the
with that.
future when we do it, it'd be better to do. Eventually, when we got things like going like live,
Yeah.
then it'd be different. But for right now, I think we need to pick like almost like one subject and then keep them shorter. Like obviously, like, then versus like doing like an hour.
Yeah.
But even choosing like a topic and then just going really in depth at it for like say like 20 minutes. When it's live, then like it's different. It can string out. But if it's like a set video,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, then like something like shorter that more people would like okay, I can spend 10, 15 minutes watching this versus like an hour and like I don't want to skip through all this.
Yeah, and that's a big thing with when it's live. It's a little bit different, but that's stuff that we can figure out because, like I mentioned in the short live streaming, is that it's a work in progress and there'll be kinks and it's stuff that we have to figure out. But I think it's a good idea to have, and I think it's something that not a lot of people do. So it'll be something that's unique, and it's fun to catch up with people people I'm friends with and different things like that, just from a selfish standpoint. But it's nice to talk about fitness things as well. So it's kind of
Oh
nice
yeah.
to intertwine those as well. But on that note, we can end this video here. And like I said, I'll put your YouTube in the description of this video as well as your Instagram. Do you use anything else besides those? I guess you haven't posted anything on YouTube, but your Instagram. Is there anything besides that you've used?
No, that'll be fine for right now. I eventually, I would say like eventually, kind of just like my wedding date. Eventually, I'll start putting videos on YouTube. It's just getting all the technology and getting everything set in. Especially since it would just be me most of the time, so I need to get like tripod and things set up. I have a camera, but I need to make sure I have all the connections and software, so that way I don't just have videos but not have any software to like edit anything with.
Yeah.
And eventually, I probably will make like a separate Facebook page. Now that I am like certified and trying to train people, rather than doing a website, I'll probably just do a Facebook page.
That's probably the easiest, but I'll put those two in the description down below, and then hopefully we can do this again on Google and not Skype. But I'll see if this.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll see if this will pop on the Skype. If not, then this will just be a fun conversation that we have, which I can live with. But with that, I'll let you get to your fiance and your cats and all that fun stuff, and I will have some more Southern comfort and go to bed. But it was nice talking to you and catching up with you. Seriously, bud.
No problem, man.
Yep. All right. I'll see you.
Night.
Bye.